How goes it today, cretins? It's your friendly neighborhood space dwarf, Main Motar, and I'm here to talk about a controversial movie called Dashcam. I think it was shot in 2021, was released in 2022, or around that time. It was a COVID movie, controversial because of the main character, and I don't know. I've seen some really bad reviews. I've seen people that say it's a good movie. First watch, this is going to be broken into like two parts. First watch, I didn't know what to make of it really. I was like, okay, there's some intense like sequences that are pretty good. There's some gore. The story is kind of, it's a light on story. It's a kind of a found footage. It's about a live streamer who's streaming improvised music from her car. This character was very annoying and off-putting, and I can understand why people would turn this movie off and hate it almost immediately. I was more perplexed by the character itself than like put off by it. I was just wondering, I'm like, why is this person like this? Why is this person doing this? Who is this person? And then I come to find out it's a real person. Like, they're not playing a character. This is the character is them. Yeah, this is a controversial movie, I guess, because of this casting and some of the political spoutings of this character, and I could see exactly why people would be put off by it. But if you could look past that character, I think it's a pretty solid movie. There's some pretty good intense sequences. There's some pretty scary stuff in there. I think it was well shot. The two main characters have really good chemistry. Oh, what else? The effects were good. There's one thing I have a complaint about the effects though. As much as some of the effects and some of the sequences were really good, there's one thing that did kind of take me out of it a little bit. Aside from the main character initially being very distracting, the blood looked like, for the most part, it looked like tomato bisque, and that kind of like took me out because everything else was like spot on. Everything else you could definitely like, you feel immersed in the world, but the blood kind of looked like tomato bisque. All I could say is like, if you could get past the main character and the initial in-your-faceness of the character for the first like 20 minutes of the movie. I mean, she still continues on throughout the movie, but yeah, so that initial first like 15-20 minutes, if you can get past that, this is a pretty solid found footage movie, and it's really short. That is definitely works in its favor because it's intense and it's short, and like even the like low periods or like the not high action periods, the main character is making up for that. It's like if you're watching a concert and like the band is like not doing something at the moment on stage and they're just like fucking around and tuning their instruments or doing some other nonsense or taking a break. It's like if someone's blowing an air horn like maybe like 5 or 6 feet from you and just going, and that's kind of the way I felt watching this movie initially, because that main character is very distracting. And I was thinking to myself, like, wondering, like, why is she like this? I didn't find myself so annoyed by it so much as like perplexed. So I would say that, yeah, like, if you could get past the main character and her quirkiness, I think this is a pretty solid movie. Definitely the short runtime definitely helps. I enjoyed it. And then I watched it again after watching a few interviews with her. And I very much enjoyed it the second time around. Now that I understood like where this character was coming from, why this was the character, why she was the way she was, and I'm kind of like desensitized to it now, I really enjoyed the movie the second time around. So I don't know, I would give it a chance, really. I know a lot of people like shit on it and thought it was, awful and this character ruined the movie, but like honestly, like if you could get past her, it's a pretty solid movie. I enjoyed it. So I will be talking about more in depth about this. This is like the initial reaction. There's a lot more to go into because yeah, there's a controversy obviously with, the fact that I even like this movie might be controversial to some people. But yeah, I don't give a shit. Like the political stuff, like I could see that not playing well. For me personally, I don't really give a shit. It doesn't do anything for me one way or the other. It's just, like I said, I was very confused by the character itself. But then, like, seeing her in interviews and seeing, like, other people's takes on it, you know, and then watching it again and kind of getting more, like, context for, like, who she is. Because she's a real person. And I didn't realize that until the credits. I was like, oh, wait, this person's playing themselves? Well, how much? I'm like, they are definitely a character. How much of that character is actually them, though? And it sent me down a little rabbit hole. But learning more context about it, I definitely enjoyed it the second time around. I don't think this movie deserves as much hate as it gets. But I could definitely see some of her, the main character's political views and political, what did I say before? What was the word I used? Spoutings? I could see some of that rubbing people very much the wrong way and being very off-putting. And, yeah, and the character's a horrible person throughout the movie. She does horrible things and is a menace wherever she goes. So, I mean, like, it's an unlikable character, and I was just questioning, like, the choice to, like, make this character be who it is. And then I realized, like, oh, wait, this is actually who she is. And then I was wondering, like, how much direction did she get, like, how to, like, spice up the character or whatever, like, what kind of direction did she get playing this character? And apparently, according to the interviews, it was not much. Like, it was turned up a little from her regular personality. But I think it would have been much better if she would have played it, like, more subdued. Like, if she just played it normally as herself, like, after watching interviews and hearing, like, how she interacts with people and how she talks, that's very much her, but turned up. So I think that if she maybe, like, toned it down a little bit or didn't get some of those directions to, like, punch up the character a little more, I think it would have played a lot better and she would have not be so off-putting. I don't know, man. It's interesting because, like, I'm interested in this not so much from the movie perspective, but, like, the character itself. She's a fascinating character, very interesting woman. But I could definitely see her rubbing people the wrong way on many different levels. So, I mean, for now, that's going to be it. I think I'm going to talk more about this because like I said, I'm very interested in this character, the casting, this person, and how this whole thing came to be, and the controversy surrounding it, and people's general, like, feelings towards it. Like I said, the political aspect of this character doesn't really rub me the wrong way, because she seems just like she seems like there's something wrong with her. Like, she seems like a sociopath or a tweaker or something. I didn't know what the hell was going on with her, and I realized, like, she is just a very quirky person, and they crank that up. And when you crank it up, you get, like, someone who's just an absolute chaotic menace, who is unapologetic. She does all kind of horrible stuff throughout the movie. She's very much unlikable. And yeah, I don't know. It didn't really ruin the movie for me. Even the first time didn't ruin it. It just, like, was distracting. And I didn't know what I was watching. I'm like, why is this person like this? And that kept ringing in my head as I'm watching the other sequences through the movie. I'm like, why is she like this? What is this? And then, yeah, like I said, with context and, like, seeing interviews with her and, you know, different takes about the movie and rewatching it, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm actually watching this now. You know, I'm kind of desensitized to this. And I enjoyed the ride. I definitely did. There's some very cool sequences in this movie. It's not boring for, I guess, found footage movies can be. It is not boring at all. This is not a boring movie. This is a ride from start to finish. And I think people should give it a chance. And that might be controversial. People might hate me for that. But honestly, I really think that it's not nearly as bad as people said it was. But then again, I watch absolute garbage. I watch such horrible trash from across the span of time that, like, I'm not so off-put by things like bad characters or, you know, extreme whatever it might be. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I think that if you can overlook the main character in the first part of the movie, or just accept, like, that's who she is, I think you might have a good time with it too. It's a pretty good found footage movie. It's not boring at all. It does something different with the character choice. And there are some really good sequences and effects, and it's pretty scary. There's some jump scares that got me. They don't usually, but there were some in this that did, despite how distracting the main character was. And I liked it. I didn't expect to talk this much about it, but in this video, because I was going to do another one. But for right now, I guess this is that's all I really have to say. Just give it a chance. Get past the main character. Give it a chance. It's a pretty good movie. It's fun. It's intense. It really doesn't let up, and it's not boring, which is cool. And it's short, which is the greatest thing. I think movies should be like 50 minutes. Depending, maybe a little bit longer, but I don't think movies should be like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like even an hour and 45 minutes is too much. I like that an hour-long movie that gets to the point and keeps shit rolling. That's the way to go. Not with everything, but I think that more movies should do that. And anyway, this is your friendly neighborhood space dork. I know it's been a little while. I've been busy doing some audio work. As your friendly neighborhood space dork, May Motar saying good night and peace. Which apparently I could eat again. So as always, baby, smooches. Love you.